Do you desire to manifest a specific person, but you have been told that you're violating their free will, that it is witchery, or that you're attracting bad karma? Well, stick around because in this video, I'm going to be explaining exactly why this is not true, because no one has free will in your reality to begin with. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. This is Priya, your manifestation coach. And this video is for those people who are being judged, condemned, shamed, or made wrong for wanting to manifest their specific person. Once and for all, I'm going to clarify why you are not violating your specific person's free will when you're manifesting a version of them that you prefer. But first, if you would like to get one-on-one coaching with me to help you manifest anything you desire, you can sign up for coaching below. I also offer online courses that are very accessible that you can get instant access to by also clicking the link below in the description box. Okay, let's get back to this video. So firstly, do people have free will? Well, yes and no. So everybody has free will, but they only have free will in their own reality. In your reality, nobody has free will. This means that your specific person does not have free will. Let me explain what I mean by this. So first, it's important to understand that there are infinite versions of you that exist, and there are infinite versions of your specific person that exists. So right now, there is a version of you that is watching this YouTube video. Equally, there is another version of you that is at the gym. And equally, there is another version of you that is on vacation in the Bahamas right now. And all these different versions of reality, of you doing different things and making different decisions, are as real and as solid as this reality that you're experiencing right now. Now let's add your specific person into the mix. So there is a version of reality where your specific person loves you, adores you, and is in a committed relationship with you. Now, simultaneously, there is another version of reality where your SP does not love you and does not want to be with you and is not ready to be in a committed relationship with you. Now, these realities, these different versions of realities, they exist simultaneously right now, and they are as solid and as real as this reality that you're experiencing right now. The best way for you to really digest this information is I want you to think of a radio. Let's use the radio as an analogy. So when you're tuned into 95.1 FM, you can only experience what is being broadcasted on that radio station. Let's say, for example, that is the pop music station. Well, you can only experience pop music when you're tuned into that frequency. But this does not mean that all the other radio stations don't exist. There is still the R&B channel, the hip hop channel, the rap channel, the country music channel, the jazz channel. But you're not able to experience that because you're not tuned in to that frequency. You're tuned in to 95.1 FM that plays pop music. However, if you turn your radio dial, and let's say that now you tune into 96.1 FM, you can now experience rap music. Let's say this is the rap music channel. Now, just because you're experiencing rap music, it doesn't mean that all the other channels and radio stations don't exist. They all coexist simultaneously at the same time, but you can only experience the radio station that you are tuned into. In the same way, I want you to apply this to your specific person. Let's say that 95.1 FM, the pop music station, is the version of your specific person that doesn't love you, that hates you, and that doesn't want to be with you. And let's say that 96.1 FM, the rap music station, is the version of your specific person that loves you, that adores you, and that is in a committed relationship with you. Well, your job is to then tune your frequency to the radio station where your specific person loves you, adores you, and is in a committed relationship with you. When you tune to that frequency, you will be able to experience the version of your specific person that loves you, that adores you, and is in a committed relationship with you. So you now might be wondering, okay, well, how do I do this? This is simple. You do it through your dominant thought patterns. Your dominant thought patterns dictate which version of reality you will next experience from where you stand. Now, on a deeper level, what this means is that creation is finished. You are never creating anything. The version of your specific person that loves you and that wants to be with you, that already exists in a specific timeline. Equally, the version of your specific person that hates you, that doesn't want to be with you, that already exists in a specific timeline. So creation is already finished. You're not creating anything. You are simply deciding and choosing, what is it that I next want to experience? And then the way that you will experience that version of reality is through your dominant thought patterns. So let's look at an example to really understand how this works. Let's say that in this current reality, you are experiencing a version of your specific person that is confused about you. So they're not sure if they want to be with you or not. This is the current reality that you're in. And let's say that there are 3 different realities or versions of realities that are available to you right now. In reality, there's infinite, but I'm just going to simplify this and use 3 as an example. Let's say that in reality A, this is a version of reality where your specific person adores you, is madly, deeply in love with you, and is in a committed relationship with you. And let's say that in reality B, this is a version of your specific person that doesn't love you, that doesn't want to be with you, and is not in a committed relationship with you. And let's say that in reality C, in this version of reality, you're in a happy, committed relationship with somebody new. So it's not your specific person, but it's somebody new. Now, you are the one from where you stand dictating which version of reality you next experience through your dominant thought patterns. So let's say you are entertaining negative thought patterns about your specific person and about yourself. So you have thought patterns such as, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, nobody loves me, my specific person is a player, my specific person is not ready for commitment, my specific person doesn't love me. And let's say that becomes your dominant thought pattern. Well, when that becomes the dominant story that you're telling, you're going to experience reality B, the version of reality where your specific person doesn't want to be with you and doesn't want to commit to you. That is the version of reality that you are going to experience. But here's the thing. This does not mean that reality A, the version of reality where you and your specific person are in a happy, committed relationship together, or that reality C, the version of reality where you're in a happy, committed relationship with somebody new, but it's not your specific person, disappears. So reality A and reality C, they don't disappear. Those parallel realities are still existing simultaneously, but you're not able to experience it because your dominant thought patterns align with reality B. So this is the version of reality that you are experiencing, the version of reality where your SP has rejected you and told you they don't want to be with you. So that's scenario 1. Now let's say in scenario 2, you decide, okay, I'm going to change my dominant thought patterns to align with reality A. I want the version of my specific person that loves me and that wants to be with me. So you begin to tell a new story. The story that you begin to tell is, I am always lovable, I am always prioritized, I am always chosen, I am so worthy, my specific person loves me, my specific person adores me, we're in a happy, committed relationship. And let's say that you saturate your subconscious mind with this new story. Well, when you do this, you are going to experience reality A. That is the version of reality that you will experience. But again, just because you're experiencing that reality, it doesn't mean that reality B or reality C disappear. They are still existing simultaneously. The reality where your SP doesn't love you, doesn't want to be with you, and also the reality where you're with somebody new in a happy, committed relationship that is not your SP. Those realities still exist. They don't disappear. Now, let's look at scenario 3. Let's say that in scenario 3, you decide, okay, I no longer want to be with my specific person, but I do want to be in a relationship. So maybe you start affirming, I'm always lovable, I'm always prioritized, I'm always chosen, and I'm in a happy, committed relationship with somebody new. And let's say that this is the dominant thought patterns that you are entertaining. Well, when that becomes the dominant story that you are telling, you will then experience reality C, the version of reality where you're in a committed relationship with somebody new. But again, This does not mean that reality A or reality B disappears. There is still a version of reality where you and your specific person are in a happy, committed relationship. And there is still a version of reality where your SP doesn't want to be with you, where they hate you and they want nothing to do with you and you're heartbroken. Those two realities still exist simultaneously, but you're not able to experience them because your dominant thought patterns are aligned with reality C. Now, what this means on a deeper level is that you are always the one calling the shots. You are always the one deciding what version of reality you're next going to experience. Your specific person has zilch, has nothing to do with the version of reality that you are next going to experience through your dominant thought patterns. They have nothing to do with it. They are not the ones choosing which version of reality you next experience. You're the one doing it through your dominant thought patterns. You are so powerful that you can manifest a shitty reality where they reject you, or you can also manifest a reality where they love you and they want to be with you. My message here is that you are doing it all the time through your dominant thought patterns. This means if you are in a reality right now where your specific person has rejected you, it has nothing to do with them. In the 3D, it may appear like, oh my God, my specific person rejected me. They told me they don't want to be with me. But you're the one that manifested it. It has nothing to do with them. You manifested that version of reality through your dominant thought patterns. And this is why your specific person doesn't have free will in your reality. What it means at its core is that you are always the one deciding which version of reality you are next going to experience. And this is happening all the time. Not your specific person. It is you. You are deciding and choosing through your dominant thought patterns the version of reality that you next shift into and that you next experience. What most people do is they will be looking at their 3D reality, and in their 3D reality, you know, their specific person has told them, I don't want to be with you, I don't love you, it's never going to happen. And the only reason why you're in this version of reality is because of your dominant thought patterns, by the way, that say, my SP doesn't love me, I'm not good enough, I'm not chosen, I'm not prioritized. That's the only reason why you're experiencing this version of your specific person to begin with. But what most people do is they will observe what their specific person is saying, and then they will continue to reinforce the same story. Oh, my specific person doesn't love me. They won't commit to me. They're such an asshole. So when you are reaffirming the same old story, the unfavorable story, you will continue to manifest that version of reality. You'll continue to manifest the version of your specific person that doesn't love you and that doesn't want to be with you. You can't manifest anything different if you don't change your thought patterns. Now, I want to also note here that this does not mean that your specific person is a puppet or a robot. The way that I want you to think about this is that there are infinite versions of your specific person. So there are different variations of your specific person. And all these different variations are still your specific person, but each variation of your specific person has different desires, intentions, feelings, and beliefs. So in reality A, the version of reality where your specific person is in a happy, committed relationship with you and loves you and adores you and only wants to be with you, that variation of your specific person desires to be with you. And in reality B, the reality where your specific person doesn't want to be with you and doesn't want to have anything to do with you, that variation of your specific person does not desire to be with you. It has different intentions. So all you are doing is you are selecting which version of reality you want to next experience out of the infinite versions that are available to you. And you're simply lining up with a version of reality where that version of your specific person desires to be with you. That version of your specific person already loves you and adores you and treats you like a queen, because remember, creation is finished. So you're aligning with a version of reality where your desires and your specific person desires are aligned. So I really wanted to make this point here that people are not puppets or robots. It is simply that you're aligning with a different variation of your specific person that has the same intentions as you. So to recap, when I say your specific person doesn't have free will in your reality, what this means is that you are the one deciding and choosing which version of reality you're next going to experience through your dominant thought patterns, not your specific person. They have nothing to do with it. And that is what is meant by you are the operant power of your reality. You are God of reality. You are always the one creating it all through your dominant thought patterns. You are always the one deciding which version of reality you're next going to experience. The shitty version where they reject you, or the loving version where they're in a fully committed relationship with you. You are creating all of it through your dominant thought patterns. And in the same way, your specific person is God of their reality and is the operant power of their reality. And they are deciding which version of reality they are next experiencing. But again, that's none of your business. In your reality, you are the operant power, which means you decide which version of reality you next want to experience. Now let's take a look at some examples of how this works. The other day, somebody wrote in the comment section how they were applying for a mortgage they wanted to get on the property ladder, but it got rejected. So they didn't accept this as the final outcome. They understood that's just one version of reality. So they began to affirm, I got accepted for my mortgage and I am living in my dream house. 4 days later, their mortgage lender reached out to them, told them that they had overlooked something and that their mortgage was granted. So this person really understood that there are infinite versions of reality that exist. And if they don't like something in their 3D reality, then they can just change it. And in the same way, I've applied this to my life in so many ways, but I want to give you an example of how I applied it to my puppy, because this doesn't just apply to people, it applies to everything. So last year, my puppy had a spinal injury. And when we went to the vets and they took x-rays and stuff, they were like, oh, it's going to take him 3 months to recover and that he would have to be crated for 3 months. So he would only be able to leave his crate if he needed to potty. But other than that, he would have to be in his crate. And I thought, this is insane. Why would I let my puppy suffer for 3 months by keeping him inside his crate? This is when I decided, no, I'm not going to accept this version of reality. So I began to affirm my puppy is whole, heal, and well. And I began to saturate my subconscious mind with this new story. 5 days later, we had to go to the vet for something else. And they did another x-ray scan and they couldn't understand what had happened. So the scan from that day compared to the scan from 5 days ago made no sense at all. This scan was showing that my puppy was completely healed and that there was never anything wrong with them. And they couldn't make sense of it. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm in a new version of reality where this version of my puppy was never injured to begin with. And so I was now in a version of reality where my puppy was completely whole and healed and was running around and was really happy. So again, I didn't accept that he needed to be crated for 3 months. If I had accepted that as my reality, then that is a version of reality that I would have experienced. So my message here is that you are always the one deciding, dictating, and choosing what version of reality you next want to experience, what version of people you next want to experience. You're always doing it, whether you're aware of it or not, through your dominant thought patterns. So let's address the point about, is this witchery? No, it isn't. This is just how the law works. Whether you believe it or not, you are always deciding through your dominant thought patterns which version of reality you're next going to experience. It's sort of like the law of gravity. Gravity just works whether you believe it does or it doesn't. Now let's address the point about, are you attracting bad karma when you're manifesting a specific person? So firstly, there is no such thing as karma, meaning, people will see karma as, well, if I do good, then good will come back to me. And if I do bad, then bad things will come back to me. So none of that's really going on. That's not how creation works. You're not attracting bad karma when you're manifesting somebody new, because remember, creation is already finished. You're simply choosing what version of reality you want to experience out of infinite versions that are available to you. Another reason why karma doesn't exist is, think of those people who that just seem to get away with everything. Maybe you think they're an asshole, but good things are always happening to them. Why is that? Well, yeah, it's because those people have a really high self-concept. They have an assumption that says, I always get what I want, life is always working out for me. So if karma really did exist, then things won't be working out for those people who you think are assholes. Something else that I want to point out, if you are thinking loving thoughts about yourself and your specific person, how is that going to enable you to attract bad karma? If you're thinking thoughts such as I'm lovable, I'm good enough, my specific person loves me, versus the hateful thoughts such as I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, my specific person is a player, they hate me, how is you thinking loving thoughts about yourself and your specific person, you attracting bad karma? That makes absolutely no sense to me. Now let's also talk about when people say, well, you should go with the flow of the universe. The universe knows what is right for you. So let's talk about this. If all of creation is finished and your higher self, source, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is experiencing all of creation simultaneously because it's non-physical and it can do that. So from the soul level, it's experiencing infinite versions of solid reality at the same time. But you, your human self, you can't do that, right? We can't experience infinite realities at the same time. That's not the mechanics of 3D reality. We're experiencing one version of reality at a time. But if your soul is experiencing it at the same time, then how is it that your soul would be telling you this experience is better than another and this is what's right for you and this isn't? That's not what's going on here. So firstly, your higher self, God, source, the universe is neutral. It doesn't have an opinion, meaning it doesn't care whether you choose to experience the version of reality where you're with your specific person or the version of reality where you're not with your specific person. It doesn't care because from a soul level, it's experiencing all of it at the same time. What this means is there's nobody sitting there on a throne deciding for you what is right for you and what isn't right for you, saying, now you have to have this experience. This experience is not right for you. It doesn't care. It's experiencing infinite parallel realities at the same time. So there's nothing like that going on, right? Your soul is simply saying, what is it you prefer? And then align your thought patterns with that, and then you'll get to experience it. So there's nobody deciding for you what it is that you should and shouldn't experience. God's source, the universe, doesn't have an opinion. It's experiencing all versions of reality at the same time anyway. So, this ultimately boils down to preference. Do you prefer to manifest something specific or do you prefer to manifest something general? Some people prefer to say, I desire to manifest a relationship. I don't really care who it is. I just want somebody that loves me and that appreciates me and that adores me. That is equally as valid as somebody saying, I want to be in a loving, committed relationship with my specific person. Both the desires are equally valid, meaning one doesn't make you a better person than the other. In the eyes of source, God, the universe, there is no hierarchy. Everything is equal because remember, your higher self is neutral. So this comes down to personal preference. It really doesn't matter if you want to take a more general approach when you're manifesting, or if you're somebody who wants to manifest something really specific. It's almost like saying, let's say that you decide, okay, I want to manifest a Porsche. You could say, well, I want to manifest a red Porsche. Or you could say, I want to manifest a red Porsche that is this model, that's from this year, that has this many miles and that has this interior and it has this many liters. It doesn't make you a better or worse person if you choose to manifest something specific or something general. Every single desire is valid in the eyes of your higher self. They're all equal in nature. So if you desire to manifest a specific person and that is what you want, then absolutely align your dominant thought patterns with that version of reality to manifest it. Equally, if you don't want to manifest your specific person, if you don't really care and you want to manifest somebody new, then that is equally as valid. Now let's talk about how you can apply this quantum understanding to your life every day on a practical level. How do you manifest the version of your specific person that you desire? It's so simple. All you have to do is change your thought patterns. Begin to think as if you are the version of you that has your specific person. Every time you're thinking a thought, you are affirming. Right? So affirmations are the thoughts that you are thinking. So if you begin to affirm, I'm always prioritized, I'm always chosen, me and my specific person are in a happy, committed relationship, when that becomes your dominant thought patterns and you saturate your subconscious mind with this new story, your subconscious mind has to produce proof of it. This is when you will manifest the version of your specific person that you desire. This is when you will shift into a version of reality where your specific person desires to be with you. It's that simple. Change your thought patterns, change your life. Also remember that you are never violating somebody else's free will. You are simply aligning yourself with a version of reality where your specific person desires to be with you. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day or a wonderful evening. Mwah.